Now we're showing a screen where it shows all the data I've entered in. It's now going to create a parts list for me, and it even gives me a quick visual of the parts that are in there, including that system screw and the wood screw that I specified. I'm also going to get planning and design information, and that is inclusive of clearances and specific numbers that are there. But when I do an output of an export for a PDF file, I'm going to get all that in a bigger format anyways. There's going to be a cut list, so all the components I need to have cut for this is going to be there, including any aluminum parts that I need to trim, and any assembly and adjustment information. And that includes the PDFs of all the paper instructions that come within the product boxes, as well as installation videos. And when you do an installation for the very first time, these things become very critical and help you along the way and make things that much easier. So on the right side, I've got a way of saving all this information. So what I'm gonna right away save this, because I've gone through all this effort to create the program, so I'm gonna add it to a project. And now I'm gonna create a selected drop folder. I'm gonna create a new folder, and I call it the training unit in our showroom. Save, I'm gonna find that folder, and I'm now going to select and add that. So now I'm gonna save this one unit. Now I'm safe that I'm not gonna create an accidental closure of my window and lose that information. So I'm gonna go back and show you what I've got here. So I've now got add to a library. So I could actually create a cabinet library within the eServices platform. So whether it be drawers and doors or lift systems like Eventos, I can start saving this data. And as a small cabinet maker or a small designer, this is pretty critical because I might be calling this stuff over and over again, especially the base cabinets and upper cabinets. So I can save this and never have to go through all this data again. I can add it to a project. So if I'm doing a project on number 1 Mars Street, I can say number 1 Mars Street and put all those cabinets in that one application. And now I can add to an order list, and I can create an order list as well and just keep adding parts into. What's also good is that I have 2 options. I mean, I'm speaking to you from Blum, Canada, so I see a different option sheet than you, but you will see a transfer to distributor option. So when we click on that, we're gonna have the option to a distributor's online shopping basket, or the ability to have the system email my distributor and say, hey, I need some more information. Can you please quote me that data? Or I would like to order it right away. Either way, I can get through that data. So the export here, this is a PDF that I'm going to create, and I have the ability of having barcodes if I have a system that requires it. I'm going to just check off all the applications. So the planning information and design, yes. I'm going to do the cuttings and fittings, yes. Cuttings and wood parts, correct. The barcodes for those parts, a detailed view of those parts, and production drawings. So when I download this, I'm going to guess, about 38 to 40 pages of information on a PDF. Now, you need all of it. I don't say you need every single one of it, but when you transfer this information into the shop, it's good to have it accompany the project. So that way it's a good reference point for those that are in the shop. They can double check dimensions to make sure the stuff is cut correctly, as well as possibly to make sure I have the right parts in the right place. So from here, you can see on my screen, when I open the file, you're going to see a title page of what it is that I'm creating, which is that REVEGO unit, Duo and Uno without a toe kick, and a front height of 2312. And there's all the key data that I've entered in. And these are the parts, including a little visual, and also some of the data, including, say, you know, that way of showing, here's my pocket, and my door is going to come out, in this instance, 725 millimeters. So if I'm planning an island or putting something out there, I know I've got to at least clear by that much. And then the Uno is going to come out 880 millimeters, so that way I know that as well, or this is the application. Very good details with regards to specifications and metric as to where everything has to go. I mean, these are just good quick references. But when I scroll all the way down, there's a lot more detail here. Don't be afraid of it because it's just information. When we transfer this over to the CNC, this is all being transferred over as well. These are all just for references. I mean, these are good numbers to look at and say, guess what? I did plan it. Is it still fitting within the space I've gotten so I can understand the gaps? Yes, it is. That's great. I keep going through. We start seeing options of what I need to cut and what it means and what it's going to be. So when I scroll down even further, what you're going to begin to see is the data that all the CAD information and the data that it represents. And I'm going to scroll all the way down. Like I said, I have actually 43 pages here. So now we're going to start seeing cut lists and information. Then we're going to see specific details about what these parts are representing. And here's all the fun stuff. This is what I like to see. These are the panels. And for instance, this one here is showing that it is a REVEGO Duo left outer front. So these are all the drilling positions that the DXF, DWG, or specific machinery data is going to be creating for me on the CNC for the panels that I'm going to choose. So when I go, I mean, you can see all the data. Every wooden component is going to be here, and including that separation panel or the cross panel, the front decorative panel in front of the rail. Even here, this is that top panel I was just talking about. There's that position for the Uno's tip-on Blue Motion device that gets screwed in. This is showing the cutout for a Duo here, as we can see on the screen. And I mean, this is excellent data. All of it is exactly what we're going to see in the training room when we start assembling the product. So when I go back to the Blum configurator, the product configurator, I also have the CAD CAM data. So I have individual product information. You can see the extensions. And when we talk to whether it's designers, cabinet makers, or anybody, or engineers, we kind of show them this data and they go, yes, that's what I need. These are the file extensions that I'm looking for. There is a great range of data here. I mean, virtually every CAD system is running off a DWG, DXF file, and those are here as well, including some examples like XT files or step files. Those are there. We also have configuration information in DAE, DWG as well. And then the production drawings. Now this is what's going to be showing all the data for all the screw points or all the hole points in all the wood panels. We also have drilling programs. So as you can see here, we have BSA, a generic hop file for most machinery, HOMAG and SCM represented. So these can actually be taken right into their software programs directly. And then we also have CAD CAM data, DXF CAD CAM, CAM DXF system for all SFP systems. Unfortunately, I do not know what that means because the engineers will actually know what that is. Once we get beyond our product configurator, that becomes the domain of the engineer, the designer, or the planner who's using external software. So when I go back, we also have a BXF extension called the Blum Exchange file. When I go here, we'll see that there's a lot of different systems that we're representing here. AlphaCam, AutoCAD, Palette CAD, Pro 100, SketchUp 1, SketchUp 2. So we can also export into those systems as well. So from here, I'm going to actually go into the AutoCAD because the person that I'm using to cut my panels is using an AutoCAD, and I will actually download these files. And easily enough, because I'm working from the Blum Canada showroom, I can actually email these files to him and say, hey, these are the parts that I need cut. And sure enough, in a couple of days, he'll say, okay, they're here, they're ready, come pick them up or I'll ship them to you. So right now, I have completely designed a REVEGO Duo and Uno system. And from here, transferring it to my manufacturing level for the CNC, and I will wait for the parts to arrive. And then for all that, I'm going to order the actual REVEGO parts, and together we'll meet in the training room to start the actual assembly of all the parts on the finished CAD panels.